Okay, here we are in a conflict zone. Just picked up a shitload of massacre missions. I think it's a record amount. It's for a ridiculous amount of money. It's 800k, 15 million, 7 million, 8 million, 600,000, 12 million. And it's kill the Galactic Corporation ships. So I'm just going to putt along here for a little bit. I'll be right back and then I'll get started. Okay. What we'll do, Taipan, deploy. Jackson, dangerous.
Copy that. Going live. Stand by.
Now this is also a great way to raise your combat ranking. I didn't even look at it.
Fighters prepped. Say the word, Commander.
Okay, well we're going to just do a bit of... Just create a bit of space. Something I just need to do with my inventory. Data set is full. What have I got massive amounts of? I don't disordered. Right. This will probably come back to haunt me somewhere. Okay, we need that space because we've got missions. Okay, so corporation ships. The hell? Massacre the Quince corporation ships, yeah. Vice President Key. Target type. Oh, he's offered me a counter. Look, thank you, but no thank you, dude. Alright. About time we pick a faction here. Oh. What the fuck? Massacre the Quince Galactic Corporation ships. Okay, well that's fucked me. Right, so that's the wrong battle. Oh, isn't that fucking awkward? Come here. Dude, orders. Call fighter.
Ready to bring the fighter back to the ship, Commander. Fighter safely in the hold.
Just see if this...
3, 2, 1, engage.
No, I don't want to land on the planet just yet. I've got a shitload of missions for that as well. One thing in Quince, I came here was about 63, 67 million. I'm up to 85 in just like 5 seconds in doing target installation zone scanning of installations on the planet, which is like a 5-second fucking jump. Alright, take 2. Let's check this combat zone out. Okay, as I suspected. There was a combat zone that was further away. Alright.
Frameshift drive charging.
Take 2. Or was that 3?
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Yeah, so my Anaconda jump range, I think I fully unloaded, must be mid-30s or higher. This is absolutely loaded. I'm 28 to 30, which is not too bad. This is the wrong... There's one more to do after this. This happens to also be the wrong zone, then it's something to do with the way that the factions are fighting. Jesus Christ, what is it right on the planet? It'd be fantastic if when you enter these combat zones, or conflict zones, that they had, you know, number of ships and it tracked, and you know there was all these, you know, surely they can do it. I know it's understand it's server side and everything like that, but anyway, we'll find out in a second. No, I suspect this is the same factions again. Yep. And I've got a shitload of missions to kill the Galactic Corporation ships. Okay. We will try that one.
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's see. Not all green, I know. Yep, it's gonna be the same mob that aren't heading out. Well, that's fucked. Quince 4. Alright.
Frameshift drive charging.
Sorry, there's usually just one mob,
4, 3,
two mobs fighting.
1.
You get a few missions from them, you get a few missions from the other dudes. And you blow shit up. Currently, the engine or the power on this is I think A rated. I think it was 36 standard. I've had it five engineering mod up to 49. So I think that should make my weapons come back very fucking good. Just a bit frustrated that it's seems to be. Let's just check these out. Beam lasers. Yeah, I need to upgrade that. We got. Where's my power distribution? That's 3. Where's the actual power? I'm down to 77 there, my power plant. Overheat power plant number 5. Unbelievable. Just bring the speed down. Yeah, state of origin. Yeah, New South Wales, Thrash, Queensland 28 4. We have apparently at least 3 to 4. At least 2 key players out, 3 to 4 solid players out as well. It shouldn't account for the difference, but JT, obviously he's been he's 32, 33 now. So long he can keep going. It's a heavy contact sport. Almost kind of like the quarterback in American football. The position he plays. Creative playmaker sort of role. No, it must be all just Quince versus the other faction. There's 4 factions here. Ah, that's just fucking... Alright. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do... land on the planet and make some money.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now the sheer weight of ships inhibits me jumping.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, out of the zone.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Jumping back into Super Cruise. Okay, so what have we got here? So we've got 6 or 7 Mexican missions. Then we've got a shitload of... about to lose another massacre mission from the night before because I haven't been able to go kill stuff because they're not around. Anyway, just another way of fucking me off. Pardon the French. Parlez-vous français? Australie. Well, while we're cruising, another semi Steve Irwin and the French connection. So my Steve Irwin, Steve Irwin, and being in French Canada, in Quebec City, which is beautiful. Now, the start of the story is I've made my way to Toronto. I have read a book. I can't remember what the name of the book was, but it was about random chances in life. So what I did is get 2 dice, 2 six-siders. No, 1 six-sider. And I wrote down 6 places I wanted to see in Canada and 6 ways of getting there. You know, hire a car, go by tour, go by premium bus or something, hitchhike, take the train. And I just wanted to see how it rolled out. Because, you know, I could go any which way, and I thought, let's see what adventure I can make out of this. So I rolled the dice, and the dice said, I'm going to Quebec City. And I thought, oh, great. I looked at the map. I said, never been there before. And my aunt was like, oh, my God, what are you doing? I said, look, I'm on this side of the world and may never be here again. I'm going to let fate decide where I go. Second dice roll. How am I getting there? I'm taking a a premium bus tour that's going to take me from Toronto through to Quebec City, which is going to have a guide. And I've gone thumbs up, off I go. So we grab all the clothes and, you know, we pack ourselves. We're going to go for a couple of weeks. And we pack all ourselves up and off we go. And we're on the bus. And the bus leaves Toronto and all the rest of it like that, everything, you know. And if you've ever been to Canada before, in my experience originally, I flew to Canada once to Toronto to visit my relatives, you know, straight flight there. And just give me a second here. Yeah, I flew there before into search posts. Flew there before, like a return flight. This was around the world trip. The second time to Toronto, and when you first tour around Canada, everything is 2 languages: English and French, or French English. And so if you go on a tour through like Toronto, if they're putting things out the city, they'll do in French first and then English, or English first and then French. Doesn't matter whichever one particularly is done on the day. It varies. Not that it matters, but I think in the provinces that are predominantly English speaking, they'll do English first and then French, and in the provinces that are French speaking, they'll do French first and then do English. That's the 2 official languages of Canada, it's my understanding, and that's cool. All respect, a little bit of the history, yada yada yada. So anyway, on the bus tour, I'm off to Quebec City. The dice have set my fate, random chance. Someone's actually told me the book name and all like that, but basically it's just I'm off to Quebec City. So on my trip, we get out of Toronto. You know, the bus driver, as we're driving along, this trip's going to take between Toronto and Quebec City a good 8 hours or more. I could be wrong. From Toronto to Quebec City, could. So as we're doing on the trip, we're going past all these like landmarks and everything, and the driver's like, "Parlez-vous blah 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 blah," speaking in Canadian French. And it looked like the majority of people on the trip are English speakers, mostly international English speakers, you know, not non-Americans. So, oh, excuse me, computer, give me what the fuck off. So, yeah, this is going to fuck me around for a bit. Yeah, so we're driving along, and there's about 6 or 7 locations along this trip. And the bus driver, parlez-vous, parlez-vous, blah, 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 blah. And I could see, I was in the middle of the bus, just behind the middle seat. of the bus, and I'm looking around, and everyone's doing the same thing. We're all looking around and sort of laughing, you know. It's quite obvious there was some French speakers, but most of them were French English speakers. Um, and there was a mother and sister in front of me, and they were French speakers. And they call English speakers Anglophiles and Francophiles. The French Francophiles, the French, Anglo are the English, and they could understand it, but they said he's been rude, and obviously he should be as a tour guide to a business doing French and English. So after about the sixth thing, I sort of walk up to him and I go, excuse me, mate, because everyone's looking around. I thought, I'll take charge. I'll step up and,
Incoming mission critical message.
yeah, great, thanks. Yeah, because I couldn't find the fucking quest, you pricks. Let's go. Boom. Yeah. So anyway, I go up to him, tap him on the shoulder. He gets a bit pissed off with me, and he's blah 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 in French. I said, sorry mate, you're putting out all these things, you're speaking in French. It's my understanding, that if you're doing it in French, you've got to say it in English, especially on this sort of like a paid tour we've paid. It didn't say we weren't, it's exclusively going to be in French, because I don't think you'd have all these people on here. There's a lot of English speakers. And I thought I was trying to be, because I understood, be wary of how you come across, and I've been told about French people, and I thought Canadian French are even different, different group of people. But I thought they're all pretty laid back, easy going. So I had that conversation with him. He's really fucking. It's like I took a shit on his lap the way he reacted, and he's carrying on like he can't understand a word I'm saying. And so anyway, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, fuck you. But I don't say that to him. I'm just like, well, I've tried. And I walk back and I say to people, I tried, no good. I sit down. I'm a bit flustered with him and all the rest of him. So he keeps. We had just stopped a short stop at something, and then we drove for another 20 minutes, and we come up to our first stop where the passengers are getting off. He proceeds to get off. People coming off. He proceeds to come down to me and ask me for my ticket. He's blah, blah, blah. And I can't understand. I don't understand. He's going on. And he's motioning me to get off the bus, and I'm going, what's going on? And I'm trying. And the mum and sister in front of me, I said, what's he saying? What's going on? I don't understand. He wants to see your ticket. So I pull out my visa statement with it. Said, here's the purchase of the ticket. Because I was a bit flustered and everything like that, and somehow I left my wallet right on the side of the window of my seat, and I fucking never done that in my entire life, let alone travelling. Could have been really in a lot of trouble. But my ticket was in my wallet. So I'm freaking out because he's in a different language, and he starts raising his voice. I'm like going, hey mate, just calm down. And other people getting a bit frustrated, and they're trying to help me, this French Canadian mum and daughter, and they're doing the thing and trying to translate everything, and I'm trying to show him my ticket and everything like that. Anyway, he's in my face. I'm frustrated. His language barrier and everything like that. I'm thinking, fuck, this is the first time I've ever had drama. Fucking French motherfuckers. And he motions me to get off the truck. I said, fuck off. I'll put my bag and everything down here. Just as I stand up, I see my wallet sort of, so I grab it, put it in my pocket, and we walk out. And I'm trying to show him the visa statement for the purchase of the ticket, and he says, no, I'm gonna have the ticket. So we get out the bus, and he's just fucking in my face and blah, 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 blah. And he sounds like he's going to try to kick me off. And we're outside the bus, out front of the doorway, and he's in my face, and I'm, you imagine just frustrated and fucking steam coming off me. I'm like, trying to be patient, but I'm losing my cool. So then, I don't know where it comes out of my head, but it just strikes me. This guy thinks I'm either English or he thinks I'm American. He doesn't know I'm an Australian. So then I go, I say to him, and he looked at me and went, what's that? And I go, no parlez-vous français, Australie. And he goes, you Australie? I said, yes, Australie, Crocodile Dundee. He goes, Crocodile Dundee. And in the most perfect fucking English you can imagine, with a slight French-Canadian accent, he's like, oh yes, Crocodile Dundee, Australia, I love you, blah, 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 blah. And I go, hang on, you can speak fucking English? He says, yes, blah, blah, blah. I said, you motherfucker. So I just fucking go off. I nearly just smashed him. And he's, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's my best mate now. So I fucking storm off to the management, because we're at a station. Storm off. And he, oh, yeah. And I talked to the manager. He goes, yes, you are right. If you want to write a complaint letter, put it in the complaint box. And the complaint box was a shoebox that had sticky tape around it with the word complaint written on the front of it. And I looked down and I looked up and I said, mate, I'm from the middle of outback Australia. I said, we're more fucking organised than this. I said, you can get fucked. Is that good enough fucking Australian English for you? Crocodile Dundee would be ashamed. And they're like, oh, Crocodile Dundee. No, I didn't understand. I thought it was all about Steve Irwin, but the French Canadians were about 10 years behind. And at that stage, for them, it was all about Crocodile Dundee. So I get back on the fucking bus, frustrated. I was frustrated as fucking hell. I come down, the couple, like, the mum and daughter trying to talk to me. I said, no, parlez-vous français, Australie? And she goes, oh, Australie. And I said, yes. And I said, how many Australie? And then, oh, Australia. I said, oh, he speaks perfect fucking English. And they're like, what? Yeah, no, he's just being a prick. So they're all like, fucking So he's pissed off and he apologises. And this is the first time I encounter this bullshit in French Canada. I thought, you motherfucker, you know. But I learnt to throw that around straight away in French Canada. As soon as I met someone, I'd say, no parlez-vous français, Australie. And they'd all come out with, like, straight first words, Australia, Crocodile Dundee. And I'd be like, oh, my fucking God. All right. And then, anyway, I get to Quebec City. It's eventful. Montreal was fantastic. That's a whole other story in itself. Get to Quebec City, which is, I think, the capital of the French Quebec. And I walk around the boardwalk, and it's all fucking beautiful. And it's like it's got copper domes. It's like castles. It's very European or French Canada. Anyway, as I'm walking along down the boulevard or whatever it is, some older guy approaches me and he starts speaking in French. And I was quite happy that he mistook me as a French speaker. And straight away I've gone, he's rattled on quite a bit. And I had my camera out, which had I had a clock. It was 3:30 in the afternoon. And I said, sorry, no parlez-vous français, Australie. And he goes, oh, Australie. And he starts speaking English to me. And I go, yeah. And he goes, do you know the time? And I said, yeah, it's 3:30. Without looking anywhere, and I just, looked straight at him and said, it's 3:30. And he goes, thank you very much, I've got to go. And I said, okay then, have a good one. And he's like, okay, see you, my friend. And I went, okay, mate, goodbye. And as he turned to walk away, I could see by the back of his head, his brain was clicking and smoke and coming out his ears. And as he kept walking, he suddenly stopped. And he's fucking jumped around and he goes, how did you tell the time? And I was looking down at my camera going through the photos, which to delete, which to keep. And I looked up and I said, what? He goes, how did you tell the time? And I said, what the fuck? And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, are you like Crocodile Dundee? And this had been about the 20th time I've heard Crocodile Dundee in like a day. And I was like Crocodile Dundee? And he says, yes, in the movie. The big water buffalo, he gets his hands and he goes, and he looked at the sun and I said, okay, no, mate, I've got the time on my fucking camera, but Crocodile Dundee. So for the rest of my trip in French Canada, the rest of Canada, all the English-speaking part of Canada and the United States, it was Steve fucking Irwin. But in French Canada, it was bloody fucking Crocodile Dundee. About 10 years past the last movie, as far as I can recall. And I remember going to the bank and I wanted $100 worth of Canadian money, and I wanted it broken up in different notes and everything like that. So I pulled cash out and I wanted to break the money down. And I was in the bank trying to talk to all these, everyone was trying to help me. And I'm talking to because this is the capital of French Canada, in the middle of the city. I just couldn't believe that we're in North America with 300 million people and I'd have to struggle to speak fucking English. It's just a concept I never envisaged. So I'm trying to ask $100 into 520s. And she's like, oh, what are you saying? You speak too fast, your accent. And I was like, oh, Jesus. I literally had about 8 people, all women, around me, and they're all trying to decipher what I'm saying. And in the end, they say, I'll give you 150 and 420s, but you've only got 100. And I was like, what? No, 520. And they couldn't understand me. And then somehow I go, no parlez-vous français Australie, and they all start, oh, Australie, blah, 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 blah. So I just go to the pen and went, $100 into 520s. And other than that, French Canada was fantastic and beautiful, but your mileage may vary. But anyway, let's land, and it's enough storytelling. Enough fucking storytelling. But I enjoyed myself. I've got so many travel stories that oh, I'll land. Oh yeah, and on my way to Quebec City, we stopped in some little village for. Oh, I was on the way back. I decided to, do it my own way back. What the hell's going on here? And
Drive assist on. Low gravity warning.
oh shit. Yeah, and on my way back, there's a little village in between. I think it's Ottawa City is like Canberra. It's like the capital of, in between French Canada and English-speaking Canada. And apparently in this region there was like a man shortage. It was like 60-70% females. It was a lot of administration jobs around. There wasn't a lot of work or jobs for males. So when you went out to a bar or a nightclub, and I didn't realise this because I was there with a couple of different guys, and I walked in the bar, and the women there were just incredible. The women were incredible, and they're all stunning, beautiful. They're all French Canadian. They're just, I think it was the Northern Hemisphere sun. They just, Australian girls get. Where I'm from, the region up northern Australia, they get skin damage very early, and if they're out in the sun a lot. And hang on, I hope I haven't lost my way here. And anyway, in French, there we are. So it was a little village, a couple of thousand people, and so we've gone out to. There was 2 or 3 of us, and we've gone out. We didn't know each other, the guys, and I met them at a backpacker place. It was just a stopover for a night. And we got out for a drink, and as we walked in the bar, it was like a ratio of 6 girls to guys, and we're like, okay. And we're standing there talking and like that, and then we had girls coming up to us. Of course, they were speaking to us in French, and then no parlez-vous français Australie, or English or whatever. And the girls they all could speak multiple languages, English and French. So they started speaking. Buy you a drink. And of course, I go, sorry, you want a what? And they go, I'll buy you a drink. And I'm looking around going, so you buy me a drink? Yeah, I'll buy you a drink. Can I buy you a drink? And I'm looking around for the camera. I said, so where's the camera? And they go, camera? Security camera? I said, no, where's the TV camera? Because this is a setup. But, me and the 2 other guys, we're all right. We're not male models or anything, but what we discovered, and I tell you what, I nearly didn't leave that little village, is that there were so many females in their prime looking for le husbands, that when you go out to the bar or nightclub, you were getting, I wouldn't say they were jumping all over you, they were coming up, and offering to buy you a drink, and all the rest of it. It's just that there was the first time all 3 of us had ever been approached by not one but multiple females, and they'd offer to buy drinks for us. So of course we stayed and we talked, and of course we were travelling, we were exotic, we all had accents, and that French Canada was that's the rest turns into a porno, but all I can simply say is that an accent does very well. It makes you an exotic animal. I've seen the same happen here in Australia for American Navy guys. They've told me the story. In America, a woman won't even talk to them. They come to Australia and they're like, they're exotic wild beasts. And I just tell them, look, don't use your power for good. And wear protection.
Incoming mission critical message.
Alright, just make sure I got all those missions I've just updated. I did say I was going to tell the story how I how I came up with the koala farmer. How I invented or became known as the koala farmer, and it all started in London. Let me just see if I've got these missions done. I've got to entertain you because this is obviously this is meant to be a massacre mission thing, but unfortunately the massacre missions.
Incoming mission critical message.
Okay, I'm just making sure these all. Okay. Yep. So they look like they're all done. Okay, let's go back to the ship. Actually, just gonna do another quick scan, just to be paranoid. Slow down.
Incoming message.
Oh, that's what we wanted. You get data packages if you're not aware with. You use it for engineering.
Warning. You have entered a trespass zone.
Okay, we're moving.
Trespass zone cleared.
Yeah, so the koala farmer story, well, geez, that could be quite a story, but effectively I took off on a around the world trip, one-way ticket, you get 12 months to do it in. I flew out of Australia, 5 stops, it's only about $2,000, stop at major places like London, New York, LA, Auckland, and you make your way in between, and you can change anything, it could cost you X amount of dollars, $200 to move something if you know. So sometimes I delayed things by a month because I'd met people or had a great adventure or whatever. But anyway, I ended up in London, and I've been in London for 3 days. You know, got over the jet lag. Was staying in Piccadilly Hotel, and I only picked places I knew off the Monopoly board, if you understand my meaning. And of course, you know, that was when I went to Mayfair, which is the expensive part of, you know, on the Monopoly board, and I went to a Subway, and it cost me £20 for a fucking Subway, which is about $40 Australian. I didn't have to buy it, but I just wanted to have the experience of eating a £20 bloody fucking Subway. You know, Jesus Christ. In Australian dollars is like 2.5 or 2.75 at the time exchange rate, so it was a very expensive Subway, let me tell you that. And so after being 3 days in London, I thought I've got to send some postcards back to all the rallies back in Australia. Done us me postcards, you know, got the internet, Facebook, all that magic shit.
Landing gear retracted.
And so as I'm in London 3 days writing out these postcards, I think I got into the first one or two and thought, hang on, this is a lot of effort. And I said, fuck it, I'm just going to go to an internet cafe. And around this Piccadilly hotel, I'd seen this very attractive woman, very well presented, hair, very physically attractive, and all the rest of it. Saw her hang around with a couple of guys and people, and I thought, okay, not really worried. And proceeded to track down a random internet cafe. Oh shit. And hang on, I'm just gonna, where are we? There we go. So I come across this random internet cafe, and
Frameshift drive charging.
So I walk into this internet cafe and I sit down. I got all the postcards. I put them in my pocket, and I just start sending off emails saying, "Hey, here I am. Here's a photo. I survived. I'm in Piccadilly. I've been to Mayfair. I'm going around the fucking Monopoly board. I'm going to be in London for a week. It's all good. Don't forget me and all the rest of it." And something made me decide to look over my shoulder. And at that time, it was the woman from my hotel had come in, and she was using the internet cafe. And she walked in. We made eye contact, and I thought, oh, this is going along nicely. She's very friendly, and we sort of exchanged glances on and off a little bit, and sort of sit back down. And she got on the computer and she started typing like she was in the Olympics. The keys are rattling along, going a million miles an hour, and so I thought, what's going on here? So I turned around and said, stop showing off. And she stuck her tongue out at me, and I thought, oh well, she's a bit of a cheeky bugger. And we started sort of having a long distance sort of, she's on the other side of the room. We started to have this little bit of banter going back and forth from the room. Picked up she had an American accent, and so we're talking away. And I'm trying to slow the conversation down as much as possible, And I've come straight from the outback of Australia, so I'm in London. The place I come from is about as big as Europe, with about 200,000 people in it, and London was 10 million people. It was quite a contrast, and I'm all dressed up as well. Got sports coat on. I'm all looking the biz, and she was looking pretty hot to trot. So we start talking. We're bantering back and forth, and so we're shit stirring each other. And she asked me what I did for a living. What I do for a living. We haven't exchanged names and all the rest of it just yet. And
Releasing Kilo Oscar Alpha. Station services have been informed of your arrival. Fly station.
yeah, so she asked me what I did for a living, and everything flashes through my head because I was working in the mining industry at the time. And I was going to say that to her, and I thought, no, I've got to come up with something better than that. So my head is just going through fucking everything. I'm thinking IT. I'm thinking all these different
Docking request approved. Land on designated pad number 10.
different bullshit stories I could come up with. Do I lie to her? Do I whatever? And all of a sudden, it just came out of my head. I don't know where it come from. I just went, what is the most craziest thing I could say? I said, and it just, like a voice in my head just said, koala farmer. So I just turned to her and said, well, I'm a koala farmer. And she lost it and started laughing. And I said, yeah. And we talked to her a little bit more. And then I said, so what do you do? And she goes, she was from New York. And I said, okay. And I said, so what do you do for a living? And she goes, oh, I'm a lady of the night. And I'm thinking, oh, a lady of the night. Escort, prostitute. Oh, okay. So bit of a dramatic pause, and I looked back at her. I said, well, you know what that means, don't you? And she says, no, what does that mean? I said, well, me being a koala farmer, and with all my koala farmer products, you and I should get together, because with your natural salesmanship, we'll make millions, if not billions, together. And I said it as a joke. Within about 5 seconds, she stood up, walked across the room,
Touchdown confirmed. Ship 6.
stuck her hand out and said, my name is...
Flight Operations Bureau wishes you a pleasant and productive visit, Commander.
That's exactly what she said. And introduced herself and said her name. And let's just say we had a little bit of a magical fling in London, went to Paris, all that crap, a few days. She flew back to New York. About 6 months later, I flew to... I already told her I was going. I ended up in New York with her for a while, and all that magic. But while I was in New York, that's when the story about the koala farmer, because people would ask me, she'd take me to parties, and people would ask me what industry I would be in, and I'd say, oh, look, the mining industry. And they'd say, and because of my accent, all these Americans would hear it as miming, and they'd go, so you're a mime? And I go, what? No, mining industry. And they goes, what's that mean? I said, gold, lead, copper, zinc, underground mining equipment stuff. They still couldn't understand it, so I got frustrated, and so I just said, I am a koala farmer. And they all fucking believed me. And they said, oh, you're a koala farmer. So what's a koala farmer do? And I come up with, like, I have a big stick, I walk around, and I poke the koalas every 12 hours to make sure they're awake and they haven't died, because, we've got these big koala farms, and And I said, what, koala farms? I said, yeah, koala farms. We have huge herds of koalas. And they're like, what do you do with the koalas? Well, we milk them. And they're like, you milk the koalas? I said, yeah, the gourmet milk. We sent it to Japan. I said, this is part of my trip. I'm on the way to Japan. And I said, the problem is I've got such big fingers that, I've got to invent a machine and the Japanese are going to help us invent it. And plus we're going to import the gourmet koala milk to Japan because they eat all the luxury gourmet food and they pay top dollar. And I said, I'll go around with the big stick poking them and I need investment and all the rest of it. And this happened in New York, this happened in LA, and every woman I was meeting, that was the first thing they asked is what industry I kept working in. It was a bizarre question to ask someone you don't really know. And straight away I tell them I'm a koala farmer and the milk gourmet koala farmer milk thing. And let's just say I learnt, and thank you for that koala farm stuff, because when I ended in New York and spent my time with H, let's just call it that, and then travelled through all North Canada and USA from East Coast to West Coast, had an incredible time, and 3/4 of it was down to actually, about half of it was being a koala farmer, the other good chunk of it was Crocodile Dundee, and the other half was Steve Irwin. So Steve Irwin got me at least 44 pints of free fucking Guinness. Crocodile Dundee saved me in French Canada, and coming up with a koala farmer story and convincing all Americans that there are herds of koala farms where, and I tell them all those koala toys you buy are actually made out of real koalas, and we shave them like sheep, and I learnt you can tell a story with a cheeky smile when you got an accent in a foreign country. If I'd said the same story here in Australia, originally people would have told me to fuck off. So I end up travelling through all this country, being known as a koala farmer, and I've stuck with it ever since, and it's been a good 7 years or so. And whenever I tell that story, people piss themselves laughing. And ironically, my younger brother, he unfortunately broke up with his wife, and he's reconnected with his first love again from back when she was 18 and he was 21. And part of visiting all her friends and family, they started asking him what he did for a living. So my brother, being a smart ass like myself, and he only told me this just recently, he actually used my koala farming line. So he told him he was a koala farmer. So these are all Australians. And this is on the Sunshine Coast, which is north of Brisbane. So they're all pissed. They're like, what, a koala farmer? He goes, because he was from outback Dalby region of Australia. And so they're all believing him that this was real. That he was a koala farmer, and the first question they asked, half of them said, "Have you slept with this guy already?" Because he's making shit up, and the other half was shocked and stunned that there was such a thing as a koala farmer. So effectively, it is love, is a skill of a man talking to an attractive woman, put in a tough position, and I came up with a crazy job title. And thanks to my accent in America, and trying to explain that I worked in the mining industry, people kept asking me, am I a mime? That's when I just said, fuck it, I'm a koala farmer. And I tell you what, I was dragged around party after party in New York just to tell those stories, and because I had the accent, and probably should have done a movie about it. But anyway, the future can only open up doors. So that is how, and that is why, this channel is the Adventures of the Koala Farmer. I used to have a lot of travelling movies and videos up, but I've taken those all down. But anyway, that's the Koala Farmer. Funny or not, that's the fucking truth of it. Alright, let me cash in some of these fucking quests. And the only reason I told that today, I can't believe it's Queensland lost the state of origin, and massacre missions were meant to be knee deep in massacre missions, killing stuff. So if you're not in, hopefully you are entertained. And that is the origins of being of the Koala Farmer. And also these planetary scan missions for Elite Dangerous. A lot of players come here. They buy a little in the Quince system, QUINCE. It's a great way to increase your Imperial rep, make a lot of money, and they usually buy a little Sidewinder with a planetary SRV. and they fly down to the planet and do the missions repeatedly over. They blow themselves on the planet so they come back to the space station quicker. I don't want to cheat. I want to do it properly. I'm stupid like that. But, yeah. And somehow I picked up a man flu. And also these missions also increase your Imperial rank and also give you materials for your engineers. Pardon me. And cargo as well. So the only thing I will say to anyone that's still listening or passing through or hears this, I'll probably split this live stream up so that and rename it and all the rest of it later on. But if you ever get the opportunity to travel in life, do not fly return. If you can, get a round the world ticket or fly in a one-way direction. So as an example, my fiance and that one for a honeymoon, instead of flying at Hawaii for 3 weeks, sitting on the beach in Hawaii for 3 weeks, you know, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful place, very much like a lot of Queensland, Australia. I proposed to her that we buy around the world tickets. We buy the cheapest ones. You can get them as cheap as Australian $1,500 up to $2,500. The expensive ones are $6,000-$7,000. You want to make 15 stops. And I said to her, we fly out of Brisbane, we go to LA, so we're in LA for 5 days. We do San Diego, LA, San Fran, go to sort of maybe a bit longer, go up to Las Vegas, a couple of days in Vegas, come back to LA, fly to New York, 3 days in New York, and then fly to London and have 3 days in London. So that's 3 stops. So Brisbane, LA, New York, London, and normally you get another stop, and then you have to come back to port. That's the cheap versions. Your 5 stops. So LA's 1, New York's 2, London's 3. Then I have a stopover in Singapore. That's 4, and then back in Brisbane. That's 5. And I said to her, you go on a 3-week honeymoon or 5-week honeymoon. 3 weeks will be easier, and we can break it up in that you can spend a week in each area. And I said to her, look, New York 3-4 days, London 3-4 days. You spend longer in London, you could go across the tunnel into Paris, come back, go to Rome, whatever, and then you make your own way back to London or Gatwick and then fly back. So it's a cheap way, or you can just fly return. And flying return, look, I've done it plenty of times flying overseas, and like I flew to Toronto the first time. It cost, back several years ago, it cost like about $3,000 to fly from Brisbane direct flight to Toronto and then come back. If someone told me for $1,000 cheaper, I could have flown to Toronto, London, Rome, Singapore, Brisbane, then I would have done that. So if you ever get the opportunity and you're going to buy tickets and go travelling overseas, they all do it, and as they've got different names, you usually refer to around the world tickets or one-way direction tickets. And as I said, the cheapest are usually, I think it's a minimum of 5 stops. And I think I had planned one time to do one several years ago. They would have taken me all through South America and North America and Africa and everything, and it was priced about $6,500. That's not accommodation, that's just flights, and I was going to spend several days in each sort of city and just say, hey, I've done it, I've been around the world. So I've been around the world about 2.5, 3 times, but I've cheated because I've done the around the world tickets. You know, I've flown, I've gone a couple different directions. I've gone Brisbane, Singapore, London, New York, LA, straight back to Brisbane, and then I've flown LA, New York, London, Rome, and then back to London, and then flying to straight route to back to Australia. So I've gone different ways around. So if you ever get the opportunity, take advantage of it. and you don't, and well, it's going to cost you money, but it's going to be, like I said, when I was in Toronto, I did that return ticket. The flight from Toronto to London at the time was like $600-700 at short notice, one way. So it is a very good bang for your buck. Yeah, and I've got man flu. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to work, and staying up to fucking 2. Stupid idiot. Alrighty. Yeah, and just talking about the game Elite Dangerous, so I'm back up to 94 million. I came here, as I said, 64 or 67 million, and all I've done is those quests that literally, hang on, they're simply, I go to Milliport in the Quince system, and there's only one planet that's close by, which is the this one, and you can get up to about 20 missions in one go. I think I had about 10 or 12, and some of them pay between 1 to 1.5 million based on your what's your exploration rank. The higher that is, the more money you can get per mission. That's how the game's made. Oh, here we go. So here's a shitload of missions. So we go 1.7 million, 650, 1.8. So look, Jesus Christ, so there's a shitload here. So they're all same but different. And you've got to have, the higher your reputation, so as you can see over here, I'm system. So now they're going to send me messages about telling me with a mission status and all the rest of it. So without doing anything silly or trying to save and come back and open play and change, I've got a shitload of these missions. So 1.8 million, 930. This faction is a smuggler faction, so I'm not very. Here we go. There's another one. These ones obviously are not paying so well. Oh, this one pays $1 million. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll show what people tend to do in this. You might, in open play, you'll see them. Oh, storage options. This ship.
Incoming mission critical message.
Okay.
Incoming mission critical message.
Jesus Christ. You do need a buggy though. Four, two, four, it's 8. Okay. That's right, no shields on this. Where we're going, we don't need shields.
Landing restraints retracted. You may proceed when ready.
That means I can't crash. That's right, I can't boost that fast. This is a shit little shit. Ship.
Frame shift drive. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Incoming mission critical message.
So all these missions are all this one fucking outpost. Apparently it's been like this for a fucking long time.
Orbital flight engaged.
Bear with me, I'm just getting used to this side one. It's so more fucking nimble than my Anaconda. So I've been only back in the Quince system for a short period of time, and we've made 30 million credits in like 3 runs or 4 runs of these missions. Like it's taken like fucking 10 minutes to do the missions each time, and I'm probably taking another 10 minutes to fly back to the planet to the space station to do it. But what I'm going to do here is what I've seen people do. Hopefully it doesn't fuck up and I lose all the missions. But effectively, what you do is you land, you do the mission, you do the scanning, for fuck's sake. And gonna black out. And once you got the mission, you crash into the outpost or ground or whatever, and then you you lose some money, but rebuy cost is 1350 credits, whereas the Anaconda is 18 million. Pardon me. Shit, so this ship is faster than my Anaconda. This gets up to 290, Anaconda gets up to 294 with its engineering mods. Jesus. That's the most amount of ships I've seen here. Bloody hell.
Landing gear deployed.
Yep. Gotta work at the ship. There we go. Unsuitable. You told me it was beautiful before.
Drive assist on. Low gravity warning.
Alright, so you come out the front of the Anaconda, you come out the back of this one. I've got a performance V8 car myself. I tell you what, this thing at times shreds rubber like it's got like a 9,000 fucking horsepower motor in it. Alright, the red barrier means I go in, I get shot. How close can we get? Okay. There we go. Oh! Called pressing the wrong button.
Incoming message. Incoming mission critical message.
Now effectively, I think that's all the missions done. Let's have a quick look. Reward. Reward. Alright, so I've got there's a few there that still need to be done. Okay.
Incoming mission critical message.
Hang on. Sometimes you got to scan it a couple of times.
Incoming message. Incoming mission critical message.
It's not always this easy. You get attacked and shit. Okay, we just want to make sure that all these massacre missions are fine. Alright, so these would be, yep, go back, get your money. Alright. Wow. Scan 3 times, alright? We'll give it a shot, 3 times.
Incoming mission critical message. Incoming message.
Ah, okay, for the 3 security data. Gotcha, thanks for the tip. So all those times I've got to get extra stuff. There you go. Gotcha. 3 scans, plus you pick up scan mods, but I've got so much data. 450, okay. Jesus Christ. So, do you fly back or do you crash and burn?
Landing gear retracted.
Alright, we're going to attempt to do this because I've seen other players do it. I just want to see if it works. I think it's very cheesy. I don't think it matters where you crash into, but... Well, that was impressive. Couldn't even kill myself in one run.
Hull intensity critical.
Now this should not. I don't want this to work, but I've seen it work. Yeah. Okay. So we got 90. We had 94 up to 95. On 93. Geez, there's some big. Cargo. I should have used to get over 100. Yeah, over 100 million.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Now, to my understanding, a lot of these modules were used for engineers, but they removed them now. Or I could be wrong. If I am, just let me know.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Already, new missions come in. $1.5. So we made about 10 million that run. And to do a massacre mission for 10 million, you'd have to kill 60 plus ships and have a good chance of dying. And be in a quite a well equipped ship or in a wing, roughly. So if you're looking to make money,
Incoming mission critical message.
Jesus, so 7. There's another 10 looks of it here.
Incoming mission critical message. Incoming mission critical message.
Oh geez, these are all big ones.
Incoming mission critical message. Incoming mission critical message. Incoming mission critical message.
Now, it's my understanding
Mission
in this situation you would save, log out, go into open play, come back, save, come back out, go into solo play to get more missions to load up, is my understanding.
incoming mission critical message.
Landing coupler disengaged. You are reminded to observe safe speeds when traversing the docking bay.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Incoming mission critical message.
Alright, going in too fast. I would love some tips how to stop, even in the blue, stop that fucking happening. It drives me insane. I've got to learn how to...
Orbital flight engaged. Hull integrity compromised. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Oh, shit. One thing I say about Elite of Dangerous, my connection to this game is originally played it millions of years ago, half my life ago, as Elite. But I think Star Citizen, when Star Citizen officially launches, potentially if it's going to be quarter of as good as it looks, unless this ends up being like what was that other bloody space game that was going to... God, what was it? It came out and it was a complete dud. Can't even remember the name of the bloody thing. Come on. So these are scanner missions if you're not aware, and as I said, it can take up about 10-15 minutes to do. And if these all go through, then it's at least going to be stupidly probably 10-15 million credits. Okay.
Landing gear deployed. Drive assist on. Low gravity warning. Incoming message. Incoming mission critical message.
So I just got a bounty, so I might get attacked. No. G'day, mate. Plater. I think these are just a little bit too fucking good, these missions. Alright, so I'm all done, but gotta scan 3 times to get the data information.
Warning, you have
Right, if you guys experience, so if I get into the trespass zone and I set it all off, they're going to fucking shoot the shit out of me, aren't they? And there's several ships as well, isn't there? No. Alright, let me just try looking around.
Under attack.
Okay, there we go. The cannon will attack me. Alright. I think I got 10 and 9 without board hopping, so I wasn't really worried about board hopping. 10 from one.
Under attack.
Who the fuck is... Just gonna have to... Oh, data point's active now.
Incoming message.
Okay, what the fuck was that?
Warning. You have entered the trespass zone. Incoming message. Warning. You have entered the trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared.
Yeah, for the board hopping, yeah, so save, go into open play or solo play, and then go swatch modes or whatever it is. I haven't had to do that the last two because, as I said, there was 10 and 9 or 10 and 7, so there was like 19 or 17 missions, so I was more than happy with that. I feel like I'm fucking cheating though. Ah,
Landing gear retracted.
how dare they attack me?
Flight integrity compromised.
Oops. 105 million. Let's see what we end up on. Just see how much data I've got. Not much. I think these are all big ones. Oh, I thought they were all a million. Platter? Is it platter or plater? I think I've seen you. Pick the fucking Aussies out. Jesus Christ. .6, that'll do me. So we started at 105 million. So we're going to end up very close to, we're going to be over 120. So 15 million for fucking, I took a bit long. Provide 415 to civil unrest. If you aren't, yeah, and as Plater says, that board hopping, effectively it is simply got a tip off. Oh Jesus, there's a shitload.
mission critical message.
For some reason, they give you 3 or 4 days to do these missions in.
Critical message. Incoming mission critical message. Incoming mission critical message.
I lost count how many missions that was.
Incoming mission critical message. Incoming mission critical message. Incoming mission critical message.
$16 or 17 missions. So what we'll do, just to keep Superstar happy, we will we might have too many. We can just keep doing. I think some people say they log in and out 10 to 15 minutes or something. Alright, I'll log back into Open Play. See how if you guys are still there. I think the universe is too big. They should have had only maybe limit on the range of everything limited to jump gates or something like that, and so it's more condensed, and you've got a high chance of meeting more players, and there's more conflict and there's more instead of being so spread out. Because the understanding is most players only get to see a lot of players when they go to what do you call it? Community goals, and that's where you get most of your griefing as well. Okay. Alright. We'll do this bunch. Now I've seen some players here for a while now, and they're like novices and everything in their rankings, whereas I'm dangerous.
Landing coupler disengaged. Please exit the station safely and promptly.
Oh, here we go, hang on. Sidewinder, where is that? It's at Mars.
Landing gear retracted.
I can't see. Yes, now Quince is chock-a-block full of players. It's The only thing I'm pissed about, I haven't had any more Imperial Navy missions to increase my rank. You know, sitting on 100% for fucking ages. I'm almost thinking of going federal.
Incoming mission critical message. Orbital flight engaged.
Yeah, if you guys are streaming or you got your own Elite Dangerous content you're sending out there, don't be afraid to put a link to your site or name or whatever. I'm happy for you to promote. Okay, yeah, I've heard that name before, but gotcha. Well, I got a further lance, so they can land on medium pads, and I've reasonably engineered that one as well. Not as much as the Anaconda, as I said. I got like level 5 bloody power plants and what do you call it, FSD jumps and stuff. I haven't got all the pulses of the weapons up. I can do grade 5 multi-cannon. I've got tons of multi-cannon grade 5s, but she's hot. Wow.
Landing gear deployed.
Tell me why the Fer-de-Lance, it's a bounty hunter ship, why it doesn't get a military slot like the Anaconda and would you buy ships like in Star Citizens? Certainly wouldn't spend $300-400 on a fucking ship, I can tell you that much. But
Low gravity warning.
hey, what's scary is this looks like my hometown with a little bit of greenery. Same sky though. Where the fuck did I... Pay for ships, buy ships like Elite Dangerous design, build ships, because it feels like to me they need more money. They need more money, and they should copy or emulate World of Tanks and Star Citizen, and probably get the missions producing. You know, you buy a ship because it does this, 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 and this, and bonus to missions, and bonus to credit making, and all this sort of stuff. You get a sexy fucking spaceship. I do play World of Tanks. I've only bought a couple little cheap tanks. I'd never spend a ridiculous amount of money. I know blokes that have spent fortunes on it. Doesn't seem to be any. You bastard.
Incoming message. Incoming mission critical message. Incoming mission critical message. Incoming message. Incoming mission critical message.
Sounds like a fucking robot behind me or something. Bio waste. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, must have got all the data points because I just thought, well, Jesus Christ. Tell you this, low fucking gravity. Sure, I've got everything.
Incoming message.
Oh, that's what we wanted. Special legacy firmware. That took 4. Holy shit. I must have knocked you out. Holy fucking hell. Like, now, ladies and gentlemen, I do remember the Alamo. Oh, oh, 1,300 credits. How can a man survive from that? It's tough. It's tough going. Yeah, I'm enjoying doing that at the end too much. I think I'd rather fly back and earn my dollars, honestly. Okay. 121.3. Let's see how we end up.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
And that's what she said. So I spent about 7 to 10 days engineering and modifying my fucking Anaconda up to, in a lot of cases, 4 or 5 star mods, mining and getting the bits and pieces. On just, I guess, 2 days, effectively, my calculations, it's probably cost me fucking 400 million credits. I could have been sitting in Quince making that amount of money. Because as of like maximum 2 days ago, I was 63 mil, 67, something like that. Anyway, all the Imperial Slave fucking trading that I did to make paltry amount of money. Good lord. But that was back before the changes, so.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Yeah, might only make. Oh no, I got up to 30 mil. I forget. Was it 21, 24 million, something like that? I made 9, fucking 6, 7 million that run. Not as much as the others. Okay, well. Can't believe how quickly my reputation in the Empire dropped down to 80. 2 weeks away, it dropped down to about 88%, 87, 80%, and it's back up to 95. Current assets, I'm valued at 563 100 million, 563 100, 563 half a billion. For fuck's sake, it's 12:30. I'm fucking tired. I don't like crashing my ship. All right, ladies and gents, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your tips, your knowledge, your patronage. Be good to your mother. And smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. 12:30 here. I'm going to head for the sack and a big day tomorrow. So, as they say in the movies, hasta la vista, baby.